Have you ever met someone who proudly calls themselves a Rasta, but somehow just doesn't feel authentic? Maybe they talk the talk, but don't really live the principles, or they adopt the style without understanding the culture. Today, we're going to uncover the truth and reveal the 5 things fake Rastas always do. And trust me, number 3 is everywhere. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot someone who's faking it, and more importantly, you'll understand the difference between appearance and authenticity. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any content that explores Rastafarian culture, spirituality, and lifestyle. Give this video a like if you're ready to discover the truth, and don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you encountered fake Rastas in your life? We want to hear your experiences. Sharing this video with your friends can help spread awareness and start conversations about what it really means to live as a genuine Rasta. So, if you're ready to separate fact from facade, stay tuned as we break down the 5 unmistakable signs that someone is pretending to be a Rasta. Let's get started. Before we dive into the 5 signs of a fake Rasta, it's important to understand what Rastafarianism truly represents. Rastafarianism is more than just a style, a hairstyle, or a music preference. It is a spiritual and cultural movement rooted in history, faith, and a deep connection to African heritage. It emphasizes living naturally, embracing peace, and seeking justice while honoring the teachings of Haile Selassie and the principles of the movement. Authenticity in Rastafarianism isn't about appearances, it's about alignment between beliefs, actions, and lifestyle. A genuine Rasta embodies respect for nature, mindfulness in behavior, and commitment to the spiritual and cultural values of the community. When someone only adopts the symbols, like dreadlocks, clothing, or slang, but ignores the principles behind them, it creates a disconnect that anyone familiar with the culture can notice. In this video, we'll explore the behaviors and patterns that reveal inauthenticity. These are not minor mistakes or different interpretations. These are consistent traits that show a person is more interested in the image than the substance. By recognizing these signs, you'll be better equipped to distinguish between someone genuinely living as a Rasta and someone performing a role for attention or social approval. Remember, authenticity matters, not judgment. As we go through these 5 traits, think about your own experiences and interactions. By the end, you'll not only recognize fake behaviors, but also gain a clearer understanding of what genuine commitment to Rastafarian principles looks like. The first and most obvious sign of a fake Rasta is someone who talks endlessly about the movement, culture, and lifestyle, but their actions tell a completely different story. They may quote famous Rasta sayings, reference Haile Selassie, or boast about how conscious they are, but when it comes to daily life, they don't practice what they preach. Authenticity isn't measured by words alone. It's reflected in behavior, choices, and consistency. For example, a fake Rasta might constantly post about the virtues of natural living on social media, but indulge in behaviors that contradict those principles. They might promote peace and respect in theory, but act aggressively or disrespectfully toward others. Or they might emphasize spiritual awareness while ignoring personal growth and community responsibilities. In essence, they focus on the image rather than the substance of Rastafarianism. Another common example is the selective adoption of symbols. Some fake Rastas might wear dreadlocks, reggae-inspired clothing, or jewelry with cultural significance without understanding the history or meaning behind these symbols. They might even misrepresent certain traditions, using them as a fashion statement rather than a reflection of their spiritual or cultural commitment. This superficiality is often noticeable to those familiar with the culture, as the behavior feels forced, inconsistent, or performative. The key to spotting this first trait is observation. Pay attention to how a person integrates the principles of Rastafarianism into their everyday life. Are their choices aligned with the values they claim to uphold? Are they consistent in their actions? Or do they only display Rasta traits when it's convenient or socially beneficial? Genuine Rastas live their principles quietly and authentically, without needing to announce or prove them to the world. Understanding this first trait lays the foundation for the rest. As we move forward, you'll notice that the other fake behaviors often build upon this initial pattern. Words without action, image without substance, and performance without commitment. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot these behaviors with confidence and clarity. Fake Rasta trait number 2. Using Rastafarian symbols as a fashion statement. Another clear sign of a fake Rasta is someone who treats Rastafarian symbols purely as accessories, without understanding or respecting their deeper meaning. This includes wearing dreadlocks, clothing with red, gold, and green, reggae-inspired jewelry, or even carrying certain cultural icons, but only for style points or social recognition. While these items are important to the culture, using them solely to look cool or gain attention misses the essence of Rastafarianism. Genuine Rastas adopt these symbols as reflections of their beliefs and lifestyle. They are expressions of spiritual commitment, identity, and history. Fake Rastas, on the other hand, focus on aesthetics rather than authenticity. They might switch styles frequently, mimic trends, or exaggerate their appearance in ways that feel staged rather than natural. It's often noticeable because their behavior and mindset do not align with the values these symbols represent. For example, a person might proudly showcase their dreadlocks on social media, claiming it represents unity and connection with African heritage, yet engage in behaviors completely contradictory to those principles. They might disrespect nature, promote divisiveness, or adopt attitudes that contradict the peace-oriented mindset central to Rastafarian teachings. The symbols become costumes, not reflections of genuine commitment. Here's a tip for spotting this trait. Pay attention to context and consistency. Are the symbols part of a lifestyle or merely a surface-level display? Do their words and actions support the meanings behind these symbols? If the focus is mostly on appearance and recognition rather than personal growth or spiritual alignment, it's likely a performative display. And while we explore these signs, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll get more insights into Rastafarian culture, spirituality, and authentic practices, helping you separate truth from facade. Hit that bell icon as well so you never miss a video that breaks down culture, history, and lifestyle in a meaningful way. Understanding this second trait helps you see a pattern forming. Fake Rastas often prioritize image over integrity. This pattern becomes even more obvious in the next trait, which is so common you'll probably recognize it immediately. Fake Rasta trait number 3. Claiming knowledge without true understanding. This is the trait you see most often, so common it almost feels unavoidable. Fake Rastas frequently claim to understand the culture, spirituality, and history of Rastafarianism, but their knowledge is shallow, inaccurate, or based on surface-level sources like social media trends. They might talk about the movement with confidence, quote famous sayings, or reference Haile Selassie, but when you listen closely, the depth, context, and authenticity are missing. True Rastas invest time in understanding the spiritual, historical, and cultural roots of the movement. They study the teachings, live the principles, and engage with the community in meaningful ways. Fake Rastas, however, often recycle information, misinterpret traditions, or repeat what they've seen others say without truly comprehending it. This leads to behaviors that feel performative or misguided. For instance, some fake Rastas might discuss one love or livity as catchy phrases, but fail to apply those concepts in their daily interactions. They may talk about peace and unity, yet act divisively, disrespectfully, or selfishly. Their knowledge exists in words, but not in practice, which becomes very apparent to those who live by these principles. Another example is claiming familiarity with reggae culture or history while misunderstanding key figures, lyrics, or the context behind songs. This trait is especially common online, where people often post content to appear conscious or culturally aware. Social media encourages performative displays, posting videos, sharing quotes, or adopting popular phrases. While these actions may look authentic at first glance, they rarely reflect genuine understanding or lifestyle alignment. It's a classic case of image over substance. Spotting this trait requires listening and observation. Ask questions, notice consistency, and pay attention to how deeply someone engages with the culture beyond just appearances. Do they discuss principles with clarity and respect? Do they live them in everyday actions? If not, it's likely they fall into this fake knowledge category. Recognizing this third trait is crucial because it often influences the other fake behaviors. People who claim understanding without practicing it are likely to misuse symbols, focus on appearance, or exaggerate their Rasta lifestyle. By learning to identify this, you'll see through the facade quickly and understand who is truly committed versus who is only performing. Another noticeable trait of fake Rastas is their focus on appearance rather than true lifestyle or spiritual practice. While authentic Rastas live their beliefs quietly and consistently, fake Rastas often put energy into looking the part without embodying the values behind the image. This can involve carefully curating social media posts, dressing in stereotypical Rasta clothing, or emphasizing accessories and hairstyles to project an identity that isn't fully lived. The problem with this approach is that authenticity can't be faked. Genuine Rastas express their culture naturally through daily actions, respect for others, and a commitment to spiritual and personal growth. Fake Rastas, however, treat appearance as a shortcut to acceptance or recognition. They might pose with reggae albums, post photos with symbolic colors, or mimic rituals without understanding the meaning behind them. While these actions may initially impress or entertain, they lack depth and consistency. For example, someone may constantly post motivational quotes about peace, love, and unity while simultaneously engaging in gossip, judgment, or materialistic behavior. Their online persona looks aligned with Rasta principles, but their real-life actions contradict those ideals. Similarly, they may talk about respecting nature and adopting a natural lifestyle, yet ignore these values in everyday decisions. This mismatch between image and substance is a major red flag. Spotting this trait is straightforward. Watch for inconsistency between words, actions, and lifestyle. Genuine Rastas live the culture. They don't need to prove it constantly. Fake Rastas, on the other hand, rely on performance, appearances, and external validation to maintain the illusion of authenticity. And while you're learning to spot these patterns, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Subscribing ensures you'll get more insights into Rastafarian culture, spirituality, and authentic practices, helping you separate truth from facade. Sharing your thoughts in the comments is also a great way to engage. Tell us if you've encountered people who prioritize image over substance and how you recognized it. Understanding this fourth trait brings us closer to completing the list of the most common fake behaviors. Next, we'll cover the final trait, which ties all the patterns together and leaves a lasting impression on anyone observing these behaviors. Fake Rasta trait number 5. Exploiting the culture for personal gain. The fifth and final trait is one of the most revealing. Using Rastafarian culture for personal benefit rather than living its values. Fake Rastas often exploit the movement to gain attention, social status, or financial advantage. This can take many forms: claiming authority they don't deserve, monetizing spiritual phrases, or adopting cultural markers to appeal to trends, without any genuine commitment to the principles behind them. For instance, some individuals may sell merchandise, promote events, or offer advice under the guise of being Rasta conscious. Yet their knowledge, practice, and intent are shallow. Others might exaggerate their experiences or connections with the culture to impress peers or followers, using it as a tool for recognition rather than a reflection of personal growth. This exploitation undermines the authenticity and integrity of Rastafarianism, turning sacred symbols and principles into commodities. Another example is using the appearance of Rasta culture to gain credibility in social circles, online communities, or business opportunities. Fake Rastas may adopt the aesthetics, language, and mannerisms of the movement to seem knowledgeable or cool, while ignoring the responsibility and mindfulness that come with living these values. The key difference is intent. Genuine Rastas embody these traits out of respect, faith, and connection, not self-interest. Spotting this trait requires paying attention to consistency and motivation. Ask yourself, are their actions aligned with the values they claim to uphold, or are they seeking recognition and advantage? Do they contribute positively to the community, or are they focused on personal gain? Genuine commitment is evident in actions, integrity, and the respect they show toward the culture and its people. By recognizing all 5 traits, from talking without living it to exploiting the culture, you can clearly see the patterns that distinguish authenticity from pretense. Remember, this is not about judgment but awareness. Knowing the signs allows you to understand who is genuinely embracing the movement versus those performing it for personal reasons. How to spot a real Rasta. After identifying the 5 common traits of fake Rastas, it's important to know how to recognize someone who is genuinely committed to the movement. Authentic Rastas embody their beliefs through consistent actions, respect for others, and alignment between their lifestyle and principles. They don't rely on appearances or performance to prove their authenticity. They live it quietly and naturally. Some key signs of a real Rasta include mindfulness in daily life, respect for nature and community, and a clear understanding of Rastafarian history and spirituality. They don't flaunt their beliefs for attention, but their behavior reflects integrity and commitment. Their words, actions, and lifestyle are all in harmony, demonstrating that their identity is rooted in values rather than image. Real Rastas also show humility and openness, willing to share knowledge without judgment. They respect differing interpretations but remain true to their core principles, emphasizing peace, love, and unity in both speech and action. Observing these qualities can help you distinguish genuine practitioners from those who are merely performing. As you watch for these signs, remember to subscribe, like, and share this video, and join the conversation in the comments. Tell us what you think about these tips and share your experiences with real or fake Rastas. Engaging with the content helps us explore Rastafarian culture further and brings clarity to understanding authenticity within the community. We've explored the 5 unmistakable signs of fake Rastas, from talking without living it to exploiting the culture for personal gain. Recognizing these traits helps you separate authenticity from performance and understand what it truly means to live according to Rastafarian principles. Remember, this isn't about judging others, but about awareness and understanding. Now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these signs? Have you encountered fake Rastas in your life? And how did you recognize them? What topics would you like us to cover in future videos about Rastafarian culture, spirituality, or lifestyle? Your feedback shapes the content we create, so don't hold back. Share your experiences in the comments below. And before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with friends who would find this discussion valuable. Engaging with the video helps spread awareness and allows more people to learn about authentic Rasta practices. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more insights that explore culture, history, and authenticity.